What's going on, you guys? In this short video, I'm gonna give you 3 tips that will make throwing 450 feet require a lot less effort. Let's get right into it with tip number 1, talking about the reach back. You'll see a lot of people over exaggerate the reach back. They'll get to their X step and then they'll do something like this. Now, when you actually reach straight back, like to the camera, if I'm reaching straight back to the camera, when I pull through, the disc has to go around my body, which is, I guess, called rounding. People call it rounding. So instead, what you actually want to do, the simple fix is literally just reach out this way. Like, pretend a friend is standing there, you're hitting him his disc here, and then don't move your hand. Don't move your hand, obviously, until the actual throw. So basically, just keep it here, and then you see how it just gets here on its own. Now, obviously, there's other ways to get the disc like right here and away from you, so when you pull, it's not gonna be in the way at all. But I feel like the most simple and easy way is just keep it away from you somewhat. Just literally straight out here and then relax and it'll get right there. Now, the second tip I have for you guys has to do with the arm itself. So you're reaching out, good. But now with the arm, I want you to be like super loose from basically like here to here. Like, this should just be like a noodle. Like, your hand is kind of holding on a little bit. You know, you've got your grip, you're pressing down with the thumb, or, you know, whatever, you're comfortable with your hand. But this whole arm is loose. When people throw really hard, they kind of do silly things sometimes. Some people will really try to tense up and like they're, you know, trying to lift weights or something, but it doesn't work like that at all. You'll see a lot of these scrawny kids who are like 110 pounds, but 100 feet past you. So you need to just completely relax. This is gonna end up giving you more quote unquote lag once you're actually in that final step of the X step. So basically, what I like to think of is, imagine Kyle Klein. He's like super noodly, but I mean, he's obviously a pro tour player, so he's really good. But just imagine you're Kyle Klein, you're keeping the disc away from you. Think Kyle Klein. And that's kind of exaggerated, but if that's what it takes to kind of get that in your brain, then just keep doing it until it's comfortable and you can kind of do it in your own way. Now, the final tip I have for you guys to throw 400 feet with like 0 effort is actually how you're holding the disc. So right now I'm holding the disc kind of normal, but as you see, there's a big problem, or maybe you don't notice it. There's a big problem. I got my power grip, I got my thumb, but what I'm not doing is I'm not pushing down with the thumb and the wrist. Now I'm throwing nose down. All the top pros who are throwing like 550 plus, every time it's pretty much nose down, like in a flat field. Now, obviously elevation, wind, blah, blah, blah. But if you throw it nose down and you're throwing a slightly stable disc, doesn't have to be super overstable, it can be slightly understable. But if you throw it nose down, it's gonna have a tendency to just not get caught in the wind and start rising up a little bit. Throwing nose up is definitely useful. You know, just throw it flat, slightly nose up. You'll have a lot of control, but if you really want free distance, the key is to really just tilt that wrist down. Think of like you're holding a pitcher and you're trying to pour. You're trying to pour something. So if I'm just gonna pour something, now all of a sudden this disc is gonna have the perfect line. It's not gonna get caught in the wind. It's gonna be pretty much level and flat the whole flight. I don't have to worry about it lifting up and starting to trail off. And by keeping it nose down, when I throw the disc, even a driver, it's hard to notice, but if you don't throw it nose down and you're throwing for distance, what's gonna happen is the wind is eventually gonna get underneath the disc and it's gonna cause it to start stalling. It might not be like very obvious right away. It's more obvious when someone throws it really high and it's starting to stall out. But when you're throwing a distance driver, they're pretty, you know, sharp and you don't really notice. But if you were to like really watch that disc, if there's like some perfect camera right there, you'd actually see that disc like it'd be flying and flying and then all of a sudden start slowing down a lot. If you throw it nose down, it's gonna fight that for much longer. So let's go ahead and throw some. I'm gonna keep all the steps in mind. Step 1 is keep that disc away from you. Step 2 is keep that arm loose, pretend you're water, like Kyle Klein, just a noodle. And then step 3 is throw it nose down. Keep that wrist down, keep it away from you, loose like Kyle Klein. There we go. And that's probably like, if I had to guess, at least like 425. And I'm not even like putting too much on it. I'm gonna put a little bit on it now and show you how much I can get. All right, hopefully this disc isn't too dark. But keep that disc away from you, loose, and then also nose down. Okay, that is actually gone. Okay, that one probably went like 4.8. It's actually kind of ridiculous. Now that was a boss, very fast disc, but you get the idea. If you practice these things and like line it up with what you're used to timing wise, just keeping that disc away from you, don't actually reach back. Let it reach back for you. I guess one more tip about that, if you watch like Paul Macbeth, all these top pros, basically the disc is always locked in with their left foot. It's really easy to do that if you just reach out and just keep it relaxed. If you're trying to force it all of a sudden like this, it doesn't really work so well. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below if this video helped you. Let me know what you think about the tips. Anyways, I'm gonna send 2 more into outer space, hopefully. And finally, I don't think you'll be able to see this one because it's a darker disc, but let's go 360. And then I can say it went 900 feet because you can't see it. See? Probably my worst 360 ever. I'm out. Peace.